Palantir helps us earn over $700,000 per year in dividends. Okay, YieldMax is PLTY. But is Palantir the key to getting more growth out of our account? Okay, not just YieldMax is PLTY, but is Palantir as a whole, okay, by itself, is that the key to unlocking more growth out of our account? Because you know that we have YieldMax, and we have these big dividends, okay, over 700,000 we get in these dividends, but we want growth as well. And we've been transitioning to this superb 10 strategy. And should we make Palantir a bigger part of our portfolio, just like those other 10 that we've been using? Because Palantir could be at the beginning stages of its growth cycle, okay, it's mega growth cycle, or as Jonathan posited in the questions, in the comments here in the chat, is this just the top of Palantir and the best days of Palantir are behind it? Let's weigh the pros and cons of Palantir, and then let's discuss how to get the most growth out of our account. Okay, once again, Palantir helps us earn over 700,000 per year in dividends, PLTY, okay, YieldMax is PLTY, and we're outperforming all of the indexes, okay? We're up 9% for the year. We were up 10% on Thursday, but then we had the bombing in Israel. So, you know, we're up 9% now. The S&P is flat. The Nasdaq's down 1%. The Dow's down 2%, and the Russell's down 6%. Small caps had a particularly rough day on Friday. So we're living financially free out of our brokerage accounts using YieldMax and margin. If you need help doing the same, email me for my e-guides at akatod48@gmail.com. Or you can head over to my website, unconventionalwealthideas.com. All right, we're leading the FIRE movement here at this channel. Okay, I love my community so much. Check out our testimonials. Check out all of my e-guides here. Okay, so we're outperforming all the indexes, but can we get more outperformance? All right, is Palantir the key to getting that growth? Because Palantir has had a big move, as you can see here by the chart. All right, it's had a big move. We had this pullback here when the market had its crash with the Trump tariffs, and now it's back at those highs. Is this the top for Palantir, or is this just the beginning of another leg higher? Okay, again, we'll weigh all these pros and cons, but here's the first bit of information you need to see is the chart for Palantir. Now, when you go over to PLTY's maintenance, okay, because at this channel, again, we're leading the FIRE movement here, which means financially independent, retire early. And you have to have low maintenance to live financially free out of your brokerage account. You have to preserve your equity. Palantir is 50% maintenance. So that's sort of a problem, all right, when we're trying to go all in on PLTY, because Palantir is 35% maintenance as a stock by itself, but YieldMax's PLTY is more maintenance. That's a problem, once again, because how are we supposed to overweight and really go all in on Palantir if the maintenance is that high? If you need help understanding maintenance, that's in my Volume 3 e-guide. So Palantir, 35% maintenance, it would be great if we could own the stock, but the stock doesn't give us a dividend, all right? Now, the stock will give us growth, but you have to put a lot in a stock to matter. So are we going to put a lot into Palantir without a dividend? Well, you know, that's not my philosophy here at this channel, because we live and die by the indexes. I put so much of my money into the indexes that I get this outperformance, and I don't really worry about down days when we're using margin. Okay, this over 400,000 that you see here of margin debt. So I want to stay in the indexes, and if I'm in Palantir, I want to be in a low maintenance version of Palantir, like the stock, but the stock doesn't give dividends. Dividends give you qualifying income to the banks for loans. If you're new to this channel, we need these dividends to live free from 9 to 5, to qualify for loans without a pay stub. We can't use stock gains because those don't qualify. Palantir is a meme stock, okay? Everyone loves this stock. I mean, well, everyone talks about this stock. It's a very polarizing stock. And, you know, I want this growth from Palantir, because if you look at where it's at in the indexes, all right, first of all, if you go here to SPY, you'll see that Palantir is a top, I want to say a top 40. Here's Palantir right here in the S&P. And if you go to the NASDAQ, you'll see that Palantir is a top 13, okay, right here, top 13. And you know that we're trying to replicate the indexes here at this channel. YieldMax has all of these different vehicles now out that you can use to get indexed performance. You know, we have the top 10 holdings here. These are the superb 10 holdings that we've been talking about in the last few videos. And Palantir is only 3 spots away from being in the top 10. And I think that's very noteworthy, because the NASDAQ is a huge index. We have to have NASDAQ and S&P exposure. Palantir is also in the S&P, as I just pointed out. So this makes me want to upgrade it into my portfolio and overweight it. But how? Should we, first of all, and how? We know some of the pros and cons, okay? Some of the pros of Palantir, it's, related to the AI theme. And it also has government contracts, surveillance, security measures, so that, if you're having these Middle Eastern wars and other, wars around the world, and surveillance, you want to watch terrorists and all these kinds of things. Palantir is known for that, but also Palantir again is in the middle of the AI growth phenomenon that we're seeing here in the U.S. and in the rest of the world. And so we want Palantir because it caters to a lot of AI needs. All right, a lot of software, a lot of companies need to have their software updated and have their supply chains, for example, be more responsive. Many large cap S&P companies and NASDAQ are signing up to use Palantir's services. It's getting a lot of the top, major companies to buy its services to increase its efficiencies. All right, and help, I saw one company increased its supply chain responsiveness by 200 times just by using Palantir services. And so you have the AI growth theme. You have where it's weighted in the indexes. It has $5 billion in cash and no debt, supposedly. And so we want to have participation in this sector with AI, and Palantir is a big part of that. And with Palantir, we also, not only does it have a clean balance sheet, but we also have other catalysts going for it, such as you could say its chart. Even though it looks expensive on the chart, we haven't had the huge move yet in a Palantir that would warrant it to be expensive yet, if it's going to be a top 10 player in the indexes. Okay, 13 right here, Palantir. So if it's going to be a top 10 player and it moves up, and it's already 2% of the indexes right here, we haven't even seen a quintupling of its stock. Really, Apple and Google, all these stocks moved up thousands of percent. Palantir has yet to make that major move. Okay, it's had a big move from 50 to 100, but this could be the early innings of its growth once again. So it's in the indexes. It has no debt on its balance sheet. It has $5 billion in cash. It can keep expanding, its operations. It can fund acquisitions to be a bigger player in the AI space. But again, these are all fancy, metrics and different jargon that we're using in the Wall Street world for Palantir to measure its valuation and its veracity, its validity in being in our portfolio. But honestly, I don't like to look at all those metrics when I'm a dividend player at my channel, because we only go by dividends and cash flow. We don't care about gains and losses once again. And I just go by indexes, and Palantir is going to be a large part of the indexes, as it already is number 13 in the index. So that's what I'm going by. And the question for me is, how do I buy Palantir at this point, okay, without having that increased risk? Because again, we know that Palantir is 50% maintenance. You can go to other brokers that have lower maintenance, but they don't have the special drip for Cornerstone. So just be aware of that. I already have Cornerstone pulled up. I just have to lead off of this because we're going to talk about Cornerstone at the end of the video, because I have a valid point for Cornerstone with Palantir. But Cornerstone has this special drip. So it has a 20% dividend. And if you go to its Morningstar rating, you'll see that it is a 4-star rated fund. Cornerstone moves upward, left, or right, indexed, has a 20% dividend, but it also drips that dividend down at the NAV for, let's do a premium check. Every week it changes. We're at 18.17 for Cornerstone. So we're getting 20% dividends. We're getting days gains with Cornerstone. It outperforms on many days. Up days and down days of the market. And we're getting the drip at NAV, which if you go to other brokers, you might not get that drip at NAV just because you want lower maintenance with Palantir. All right. So Cornerstone is the largest position in my portfolio. It's how I'm outperforming. It's how we're up over 9% year to date. We've been buying heavily Cornerstone after the rights offering, because you have to play that rights offering properly. If you need help playing Cornerstone, that's in my Volume 4 e-guide. Also, we give you the rights offering announcement here at Discord. Okay, here's our Discord chat room. It's the best in the world, in my opinion. We have over 2,000 members here in this Discord chat room pursuing the FIRE lifestyle. Here is the Cornerstone rights offering announcement channel right here. We also have a YieldMax channel, a Canadian channel for Canadian investors. They always ask me, can we outperform with Cornerstone even though we don't get the special drip? Of course you can. I didn't use the special drip in 2021. Cornerstone still went from 7 to 14, still gave you that dividend, okay, in the process. So we had over 100% gain there. And then you reload after the rights offering. You can do that even if you don't have the special drip for Cornerstone. We also have a life hack section here. We talk about how we get our loans because, obviously I use loans to level up as well, about $300,000 worth of loans. We have everything here at this channel, okay? And with over 2,000 members here in this Discord chat room, Pursuing the Fire Lifestyle, we're all here for you if you have a question. If they can't answer that question for you, call me because you have my number when you buy my e-guides, okay? All that is here listed on my website. And again, you can check out my testimonials. All of my members are just so great. They're so fantastic. And we're all helping each other grow here and live financially free, all right? It's the best chat room. It's the best vibe. It's the best community you could ask to be a part of, okay? And I'm just blessed to be a part of it with y'all, okay? I know that I started this Discord chat room, but y'all gave me the idea to start Discord. And, ever since then, it's just taken off, okay? So check out the YieldMax section here. I'm sure we'll be talking about Palantir very soon. Okay, so how can I play Palantir? We just mentioned Cornerstone, and the reason why I mentioned Cornerstone is just because you want to buy Palantir, but it has 50% maintenance. You can go to other brokers with lower maintenance, but you might not have the special drip for Cornerstone. Also, you might not want to just buy more Palantir because you have low maintenance. Obviously, that's the way to get in trouble when you're using margin. Okay, so how can we safely play Palantir? Well, I think I have one good gem for you, and I kind of already opened up this window and you saw it. Okay, you saw a sneak peek of it, but that is ARKK. Okay, that idea I have for y'all, OARK. Okay, YieldMax is OARK. All right. We have Palantir here, okay? It is 6% of OARK, all right? Now, the special key with OARK, okay? The big key with OARK is 30% maintenance, all right? 30% maintenance. You have a 50% dividend yield. We just got our dividends from OARK, okay, this weekend. I apologize. I just want to show you this dividend, okay? So here is the complete view. If you go to my my dividends here, you'll see dividend or interest paid, all right? And you can see here one of our largest dividend payments was OARK. Look at all these thousand. So we got like 11,000 this weekend, maybe 12,000 this weekend. Obviously, we get a few thousand more throughout the week because all of our dividends are staggered. But look at OARK here, $3,000. All right, and OARK's just been going crazy lately. Okay, if you look at a chart of ARKK, you'll see that it's pretty much back at the highs. ARKK can really move big, and everyone wanted to hate on ARKK and OARK throughout the years, saying Kathy Woods was too much of this, too much of that. But the fact of the matter is, you have to look at her portfolio. She has Tesla in it. She has a lot of other index names in it. And she does have names that have real growth potential, like Coinbase, Roblox, Roku, obviously. All these names have heavy growth potential. And Palantir, no wonder, it's 6% of her portfolio. So I can buy a bunch more OARK. I'll be updating this with my members. When I'm buying more of OARK this week, I'll be obviously doing lives, and you can follow my portfolio at any time here under the membership section right here if you want to see how I allocate all these various YieldMax funds, okay? How I use Cornerstone, how I play Cornerstone, how we get through market crashes, how we use options, to hedge against market declines. That's all here in these members only videos in my membership section right here. All right, so that's one way that I'm going to be playing OARK, okay? Palantir. It's through OARK. And OARK, again, it has 30% maintenance. I mean, that's just a godsend if you're using margin, okay? Once again, if you need help understanding maintenance, that's in volume 3. So 30%, Palantir is 6% of that. You saw the dividend payouts that we had here. YieldMax gives us massive dividends when it comes to the OARK vehicle. And OARK has been moving up quite well. I showed you a chart of ARKK. Look at a chart of OARK. I know it's going to look a little bit worse than ARKK, but it's still from bottom to top. It's had a nice move here. Look at this move, okay? Bottom to top. So we've been, and this is a perfect uptrend, okay? Higher highs and higher lows within this range, okay? This narrow range, this support and resistance area. So we've been buying this. Members know that I've upgraded OARK, okay? We saw that in my members only videos last week and the week before that. But because of Palantir, because of the fact that the small caps are still down, over 5% for the year. Okay, look here, the Russell, again, we're up 9% for the year. The Russell is down 6% for the year. Even with all this margin leverage, we still are outperforming in a down market thanks to the various strategies that we use. They're all in my e-guides, and you can see them all in my members-only videos once again. But the Russell is closely linked to OARK, okay, and small caps. All right, so small caps, mid caps. So I want more Russell exposure. My members know that I've been trying to find ways to get cheaper Russell exposure. That would be OARK, and it's been doing really well for us, as you can see by this chart. And ARKK is back at the highs. And this is how we're also getting our growth, because we use our margin to get these massive dividends, and OARK being here the largest dividend payer that we have. So this is why I'm buying more OARK, but because of Palantir, because I'm so excited about Palantir and even Bitcoin, you know, and Tesla, it makes me want to buy some more OARK, okay? So this video, yes, it's about Palantir, weighing the pros and cons. I just showed you the weightings and the indexes. But at the end of the day, we have to play Palantir properly, okay? We can't get too much stock exposure, okay? We don't want to get burned. That's why I put so much in Cornerstone, okay? Because I can put so much in the indexes like Cornerstone, like YieldMax, like ULT, like many other anchor funds that we have. By the way, go over to our Discord and you can see our Anchors channel here, okay? So if you can't use Cornerstone because you have Robinhood or something like that, you don't want to switch your broker, go to our alternative Anchors channel right here, and you can see all of the other funds that we use to stabilize our YieldMax plays, all right? And OARK is somewhat of an anchor for Palantir, but Cornerstone is our major anchor. It's my largest holding because we can make easy money off Cornerstone with the compounding. All right, we want compounding from Palantir as well. So I'm using the Granite shares and the Direxion leverage shares to get more performance out of Palantir. So we're buying PLTY. Okay, here's Palantir right here, as I already showed you, back at the highs, and we're buying PLTY. All right, and we're buying the leverage funds of Palantir as well, so I can get more growth out of that. But I'm watching my position sizes, keeping them very small. All right, so last thing I want to say, when we talked about hedging, okay, I meant to throw in one more thing with Palantir, okay? With Palantir, you can hedge it with PLTZ. PLTZ is the way to hedge Palantir, and that's through Defiance, okay? We use a lot of Defiance for our needs here at this channel, including some of my anchors, Defiance funds, various Defiance funds, and then PLTZ is how we can hedge Palantir once we grow it to a big enough position in the portfolio. Don't forget, the biggest way to get these gains, all right, the massive gains that we've been getting are mostly Cornerstone and the triples, okay? And we're using some of these double leveraged funds, like, let's say, PLTU, okay? This is how I'm getting more growth out of Palantir. The decay is minimal. As you can see here, we made it back to the old highs essentially with this. So this is Direxion, like I was alluding to earlier. But PLTU is high maintenance, okay? Just be aware that it's high maintenance. And so there's a way to use these triples and this maintenance issue that you have here. That's all in Volume 7, okay? Volume 7 is my latest e-guide. It's my favorite e-guide. It's how I'm getting all these capital gains, okay? So we want dividends. We have over 700,000 in dividends, but we want capital gains as well. See, these are great dividends we're getting here. But again, we want capital gains. That's how we're getting this outperformance. It's with the triple C's, which is, again, in my Volume 7 e-guide. You can find out more about my e-guides, once again, on my website, unconventionalwealthideas.com, all right? So I'm going to get to my members' questions now. Is Palantir the next big growth vehicle for our portfolio? Okay, is this the key to unlocking the growth out of YieldMax, or are its best days behind it? Okay, I'd love to hear y'all's comments in this chat or in the comment section below if you can't make this live and you want to comment after you watch the video, okay? Also, don't forget to like and subscribe if you didn't do so already, all right? And this is how we're outperforming the markets, everyone, okay? We're outperforming thanks to YieldMax, Cornerstone, and some margin, and we're going to hopefully get more outperformance with Palantir, okay? We're going to be playing it properly. Make sure you head over to my membership section if you want to see how I'm playing Palantir day by day. All right, I really enjoyed this one. All right, I hope you did too. I look forward to the next live. I'll do one sometime later in the week, okay? Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.